As the housing market hit rock bottom, that is a question people have been asking for a couple of years now and will almost certainly continue to ask for a while. Many fear that a dip is still on the way because of a bottled up shadow inventory of properties that are being foreclosed upon. Could they flood the market? Here to talk about it all is Eldad Moraru of Long & Foster. It certainly sounds frightening. Basically a court-imposed dam right now holding back millions of properties in foreclosures nationwide. So what do sellers need to know about the issue?
Well, you nailed it on the head. Nationwide. So the media is going to cover the story across the country. We need to understand, sellers need to understand what is going on here locally and what's going to happen in their zip code, because it's not going to be equal around the area.
And you say it's critical for sellers to know all those details. Explain to us the differences in zip code and what areas might be affected more than others, and then how people go about finding that information about where they situate in this.
Right. So if you're a seller thinking of going to the market in the next several months, and you happen to be one of these areas that is going to get flooded, probably now is the best time to get on the market while good inventory is low. If you're in an area where we're not going to get hit so badly, you could breathe a slight sigh of relief. How do you figure it out? Well, Realty tracks these statistics, the rate of foreclosures. And in some areas, what I do is I go and look at their stats, and they have, and you can look on my blog as well, but there are areas that, you look at these maps and different colors will show you where most likely in the next several months there'll be a flood of high levels of foreclosure inventory.
Right, and just recapping, you do have those areas where there could be a lot of foreclosures, and if you are the unfortunate person who owns in that area, all those properties coming on the market will theoretically crush your property value. And the opposite situation would be that you're in an area where there are very few foreclosures, so your property value could be relatively stable. Could you give us any examples of places that are very stable right now?
Most of Washington, D.C. is very stable and going to stay stable, except for a couple of zip codes, so that's great. Where we are going to have confusion is Montgomery County, which is huge, is really going to be a huge mixture depending on where you are. So unfortunately, psychologically for buyers, they're going to say, well, Montgomery County on average is going to get hit, but that's not really true. PG County is going to get hit pretty badly in some ways, in some areas. But like I said, Montgomery County, as an example, is huge. And you might be in an area that's extremely stable, not going to have an issue, and you could be in another area where it's going to be horrible. So you need to understand and go look and check it out and do the research before you make decisions.
Eldad Moraru of Long & Foster. Go to WTOP.com to read more. You can see that state-by-state shadow inventory chart.